YNA is a podcast that focuses on mental health and other aspects relating to what goes on inside of a person's head. We are by no means professionals in this field and only aim to make these conversations about mental health easier for the listener. Nothing we say or talk about is professional advice unless explicitly mentioned. If you seek professional advice or experience symptoms of an actual mental disorder, please contact a professional or visit your closest center for behavioral health. You are not alone.
What's up, guys? Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you're looking for more of our content and merch information, be sure to check us out at ynamentalhealth.org. Keep an eye out for our skits and upcoming episode information. Feel free to reach out to us on IG. Our DMs are always open. And please remember, you're not alone.
Hello. Welcome back to YNA Mental Health. My name is Ale Flores, and we're going to be talking about beauty, fashion, content creating, mental health. So I am 25. My name is Alejandra, but I go by Ale, and I am living in Milwaukee. I am a content creator on Instagram where I talk about all things beauty, fashion, specifically mid-size to plus size style. And I do talk a lot about positivity, mainly self-love, some affirmations, and where I talk a lot about, where I'm open about depression as well with my depression.
On your official page, it says that you talk a lot about mid-size and plus size. What does that mean to you?
So mid-size and plus size is like a very difficult topic to talk about just because a lot of people don't know what is considered mid-size, because mid-size to plus size is very hard to fashionize, because wherever you go, if you're looking for specific size, go with that size. At another shop, it's like a completely different size. Like if you're looking for a 14, you're looking for a 14, but at that place you're an 18. Like it does bring down a lot. I just want to share my style. You know, if somebody can resonate with my size, my style, then they could be like, okay, well, if she could wear that, I could wear that.
In today's world, it seems like we really need positivity. And so you spread a lot of that in your posts. So could you tell me more about how you spread that positivity and how it kind of came to be?
I spread it because I was dealing with a lot of depression. And so I never got to see on social media about depression. And it just brought down, and I felt literally alone. Just recently, just after COVID happened, is where I feel like a lot of people opened up, because I mean, during that time, everybody was home and nobody was going out.
Right.
Of course, your depression is going to go down. When I saw that people were more opening up, I'm like, dang, like I'm feeling kind of the same way. So I'm not alone. Like, you know, let me talk to somebody. Who can I talk to about it? Like that's where too, like who can I talk to about it? I mean, I never talked to my parents about it. I never even talked about with my partner. Just because I felt like, oh, what are they gonna think about me now?
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah, it's difficult.
So after opening up on social media, that's when everybody's like, oh my God, like I'm the same way. I'm like, you know, that to me is amazing to think like, you know, we could somehow resonate and like share, like, you know, this is what I'm going through, like, you know, just opening up about it. And that is when I was like, you know what, this is what I'm going to be doing. I want to make people feel like literally they're not alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it really difficult to stay positive in those moments? Because I feel as if when we were going through that COVID pandemic, and kind of still are, it seemed like a lot of people just kind of fell into a spiral, and it kind of forced people to not talk about what they were dealing with. And so we became into this kind of world where depression, anxiety, and mental health needed to be talked more. And now that we're kind of coming out of it, it seems like people are opening up more about it. Do you feel as if we are moving in that kind of direction, or do you feel as if we're still taking that step back and mental health isn't going where it is?
100%. I feel like it's been opening up a lot more. I've been seeing a lot on Instagram now. It just makes me feel so good that it's been opening up a lot in the beauty industry. Like I've been seeing a lot of like makeup brands who are talking about mental health, specifically Rare Beauty. That is actually one of my favorite brands that I actually use, but also Selena's story about mental health. I think that's really amazing, and I'm really proud how far social media has come to where everybody can now open up
Right.
and not feel bad about it.
Right. And I feel like a part of that plays a really important role, because the more that people open up about their mental health, the more that people become comfortable talking about it. And then we can go into a society where we can talk about depression, we can talk about our anxiety, and we can honestly help people become not only better selves, but we can also stop suicide rates, because it feels like we're stuck in this society where we can't talk about things like that. And I believe in beauty, it becomes kind of difficult, right? Because it feels like there's this face that everybody puts on, that there's nothing going on behind it, that we all don't have a story, or we all don't have something that we're dealing with. And I think one thing I've learned especially is that you never know what someone's going through.
Right.
And so I think that plays also an important part, where perfectionism comes, where makeup and beauty is something that needs to be perfect. Do you feel as if the perfectionism plays a part in your life, or is it something that you don't regularly deal with?
Of course, when I apply the makeup, like obviously I want it to be perfect.
Right.
I know I would always get a lot of compliments about like, oh my God, your makeup looks good, blah, blah, blah. There's people out there that are like, oh, I can't do makeup like that and things like that. And I mean, it takes practice for sure. I mean, till this day, I still don't know what I'm doing. I feel like that's how everybody is with makeup, because I try to do it one way and it comes out completely different, which is okay. But when it comes to content creating, for anything, whether you're an influencer, whatever, it does strain a lot in you, but it does because I feel like there's so much you have to do behind camera.
Right.
A lot of people don't think about it. I know for me, when I first started creating, I'm like, dang, you have to do a lot. And a lot of people don't know. It's like for those that just like looking at posts,
Exactly.
And yeah.
So you talked a lot about Rare Beauty and how Selena has this incredible story. And as a brand ambassador, what is important to you? Is it the story? Is it the product? What really sticks out to you when a company reaches out to you?
I like looking for, like when it comes to makeup, I like that it has to be cruelty-free, vegan. And if I could resonate with their story behind the brand, that's a huge plus. Whatever I share, it's mainly because I truly love it. I truly believe in it. It's not just because, oh, they're going to offer me free products.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me take them. No, it's because I really like their product or I really like their story.
Nice. And Selena's story sticks out to you the most? Is there any reason why?
Well, I liked her as an artist before.
Okay.
I liked watching her and her Disney movies shows.
Yeah, of course.
And when she became a singer, I'm like, oh my God, I love her songs. And then when she opened this beauty brand, I'm like, oh my God. And when she talked about mental health, I never knew about her story, of course. No one's gonna know about, especially someone famous or like her. I think she connected so many people. How do I say it? Like everybody loved her, right? I loved her, but it was like a better connection knowing that she also was going through something kind of like us, or
Yeah.
So that's a big plus for me.
In your posts, you emphasize a lot of things, and that's awesome that you can figure out what your niche is. But what do you really want to get behind when you connect with the people that watch your posts? Do you want to get behind a certain message? Is there a certain thing that you want to say to them? Or is it kind of just you're very open about how you're feeling?
I mean, I am very open about what I'm feeling. Like I said, I share a lot more on my stories than I do on my posts. However, I am starting to talk more on my posts. That way, for those that are not looking at my stories, that can relate to posts. Mainly, I mean, I want people to come on my page and just feel better and feel good no matter what they're going through at that moment. And if you could resonate with me, if you could be like, oh my God, like she's just like me for whatever, then I did my job. I want them to feel good.
So what do you enjoy most about making content?
When we drive around, I do actually look around to see oh, I could take pictures here. I mean, I love being creative about it.
Right, of course.
And I do have ideas, whether it's from Pinterest or just from Instagram itself. But I just love being creative my own way.
That's
and
awesome.
Speaking it through my posts.
So I have a really big issue with overthinking, and it's something that I've been trying to deal with. And it seems like with skin, beauty, and fashion, overthinking can play a really important part. How do you overcome that, and how do you get out of your own head?
So when I edit my reels, so like my video footage, I mean, I love, that's like one of my favorite things to do is like edit my videos. I do get frustrated at times, but I just, if it's not perfect, I just post it anyway because I know in the end I'm gonna go back and be like, wow, like look how far I've come.
Right, exactly.
And that is actually one of my favorite things because I also look back from like a year ago and I'm like,
Right.
dang, I changed so much. Like it's really awesome.
Especially from like your first reel to where you are now, and
Oh
you're just
my
like, I've
gosh,
learned
yeah.
so
It's
much
like
from there.
so cringe. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I made it like that.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta be cringe, right?
Yeah.
What are some negative moments that you've realized being in the industry?
So I guess like whenever I see somebody post or even a beauty brand when they post something with like perfect skin,
Right.
and I don't, I mean, I have acne scars, acne, whatever. And I'm like, it brings me down because I don't see a person just like me, and I want to see that.
Yeah.
The only way I see it is from actually other creators, you know. And I mean, I hope to see in the future. I mean, I don't really see it that much, but I hope to see like with bigger brands that can use people that have like acne, so that way they could reach to those type of people.
Right.
And it would make me feel better about me, about myself, about my skin.
I feel like this plays such an important part in social media too, because in social media you don't see the acne scars, you don't see what people deal with the scars. Whether, I mean, I have acne scars too, and I've never seen like male like influencers have acne scars, and it feels as if
That's the
this
thing
is
too,
like
yeah.
we're stuck as we males would love to have perfect skin, or I would personally would love no acne or anything, but I went through a really difficult time where I was popping it and not realizing what kind of issues that it comes with it. Do you believe in with the male side of beauty and everything that goes on? Do you believe that's not talked about enough as well, or?
Yeah, you know what? I don't see it off. I do not see it at all, to
At
be
all, huh?
honest. I mean, yeah, there's like those famous YouTubers who are makeup artists.
Of course.
And you know, I see them, but I have not seen, like, I've never seen it on my page. You know, sometimes on Explore page you would see it. I mean, yeah, I see it, but I feel like there needs to be more.
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially with males, because we're not sure like what's the skincare routine. I think just splash water and soap on your face, and that's all that it takes.
Yeah.
But that's something that I really hope we get to push forward to, so that it's not stigmatized as, oh, he takes care of his skin, oh, he's just some pretty boy or something like that. But I totally get where you're coming from. So again, YNA is we really focus on the mental health side of it. If you could talk a little bit more about your mental health and what you've dealt with and how far you've pushed yourself, not only to maybe overcome your depression and anxiety, but if it's something that you feel comfortable now talking about.
Yeah, so it didn't really it didn't really come in until it was like, of course, during COVID. But I think too, during the time that I was in, where I was at, I just was unhappy of where I was. I moved to Texas to live with my mom. I mean, I missed her, so of course I wanted to see her, but I decided to go back to school. But even school, school, I hated school. I didn't know what I wanted to do for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life, to be honest. But I just went to school because my family said I had to go to school. So
Right.
that's what I did. I did get a degree. It did take longer than it should, but at least I have one. But you know, my family was like, well, you gotta decide what you need to do, you know.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'll go back to school, but I'll go live with my mom. So that's when I moved to Texas. Yes, I love the weather. I love the environment. Like I loved being at the beach. But for whatever reason, I was just not happy.
Yeah.
And I was there for a year and a half, almost two. But it really broke me down because I was like in my head, like, like, do I want to finish school? I don't even want to do this anymore. You know, I miss my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I miss my friends. I miss my other family. Like,
Right.
you know, and yeah, I had my brother, I had my mom who I'm like super close with. But for whatever reason, it didn't feel well for me.
Right.
So that's when I didn't open up to anybody until somebody opened up to me.
Wow.
So when they opened it up to me, that's when I was kind of talking to them, and that's when I realized, like, okay, I could actually talk to this person about it.
Yes,
So that's when I
exactly.
talked to that person, and that person said, hey, you need to talk. You need to do whatever you need to do. If you need to leave, if you need to move,
Yeah.
do it for you. You're literally there because of for somebody else, you know? And it kind of made me like, "Ugh, but I don't want to break my mom's heart, you know, and
No, no one
blah,
ever
blah, blah.
does.
But no, I was like, you know what? And that's when I actually opened up to my boyfriend at the time, who is now my fiance. But that's when I finally opened up to him and said, hey, you know, I've been feeling like this, and actually told him in person. He came to visit, and he did say, he's like, you know what, I felt something, but I didn't know. I just never said anything. And he's also the person, like, he didn't understand, which, you know, is okay. I opened up to whatever he could understand, and
Right.
he does whatever he can. Even now, like, he does whatever he needs to do. Whether, you know, if he needs me, or if he needs to let me sleep, like, he'll do it. But he also tries to get me up.
That's
for,
awesome.
You know, and yeah, I need that. And he tries to make me go outside. You know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Like, I just want to stay here. But, you know, he does whatever he can to, you know, make me feel good. But
I totally get that.
But yeah, when I opened up, that's where I'm like, wow, like, you know, I could actually talk to somebody. And that's when I told my mom, and she also felt bad. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, but this is how I've been feeling. I need to leave. I'm sorry, but I have to. And she understood that. I mean, it was a very hard process. But so yeah, that's when I moved to Milwaukee, lived with my boyfriend. A year later, here I am. I'm still trying to figure out a way to deal with my depression, because yeah, every now and then I get depressed for whatever reason, and I do little things. Either I pick up my book that I'm reading, I read, watch my favorite movies, watch new shows. But yeah, I just try to do different things to help me feel better about
It sounds like you finally found like the things that really help your mental health. And again, that's something that like all of us have to go into this like deep journey to find what helps us.
And it does take a long time.
Right.
It does. A lot of people think that it'll take like, oh, it'll take like a week. Oh, it'll take a month. No, it might even take a year. It may even take 2.
Yeah.
You know, but you just have to figure out a way how you could deal with it your own way.
Exactly. And so I think we're going to wrap this up on our last question. And what you said is really important, because when someone's just beginning their mental health journey, or is just beginning whatever journey that they're starting to go on, what advice and tips would you give someone who's going on a beauty, fashion, and content creation journey? What is some advice that you would give, and maybe some tips that you personally have felt have really helped you?
For content creating, I mean, if you want to create content, I mean, just do it. You know, I mean, even if it's not perfect, post it anyways, because like I said, in the end, you're going to look back and you're going to see how far you've come.
Right.
I mean, till this day, I look back and I'm like, dang, I posted that. Like, is that how I did my makeup or whatever? That's how I dressed. But just do it. And I know I'm still learning too. Like, I'm still learning how to reach out to brands. I'm still learning how to like send emails, you know, things like that. And the way how I learned is research, YouTube. I even follow people. I follow people who are also going through the same thing, and already at that point where, you know, they're doing this full time. And so just do it, and also just look for somebody who you idolize, because once you look at them, and they could also like share their input. I mean, that's where I, you know, learned too.
YouTube University is one of the best places to go to get your true education, honestly. So we really appreciate you coming on again, talking about your mental health, expressing how you feel, and giving people advice and tips on how they can become better. We just want to remind our audience out there, please, please, please remember, you are not alone, and we're going to catch you on the next episode. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.